John Whittingdale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a pleasure to follow the Right Honourable Lady, the Leader of the Liberal Democrats, and I do give her and her party credit for consistency. No one has ever been in any doubt as to where they stand on the issue of Europe. Unfortunately, that is not the case for the Labour Party, whose leader, as my honourable friends have already pointed out, actually supported leaving the European Union for a long time, who fought an election on their wish to respect the result of the referendum, and who said consistently that a second referendum was out of the question. I should say to the House that members will already be aware that the honourable member for Cardiff West, who I hope will just pause for a second as I'm referring to him, the honourable member for Cardiff West was forced to abandon his 60th birthday party as a result of the House sitting on a Saturday. What the House may not be aware of is that the honourable member for Cardiff West and I were born on precisely the same day, and that as a result of the programme motion, I have now postponed my own 60th birthday party. However, I suspect, unlike the honourable gentleman opposite, I regard it as a small price to pay, and one that I am very willing to pay, if the result is that we get Brexit done.
Joint party.
Members have said that this legislation is being rushed through and there hasn't been time to look at it properly. I can say that I have been privileged to serve as a member of the Select Committee on exiting the European Union since 2016, and we have spent an awful lot of time scrutinising the process by which the UK will leave the European Union. We looked at the Withdrawal Agreement as originally proposed by my right honourable friend, the member for Maidstone, and of course, Maidenhead rather, and of course we have taken numerous sessions of evidence to examine further. In many parts of the Withdrawal Agreement, it is similar to that which was put forward by the previous Prime Minister, as my right friend, the member for Chingford, pointed out. However, the major differences between the agreement that we are considering today and the previous one are firstly the changes that have been made to the Northern Ireland Protocol, and second to the political declaration and the direction of travel for our future trading agreements. Like the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, the Leader of the House, and my right friend, the member for Chingford, I did not support the government in the first two meaningful votes that occurred, but I did so on the third one, because I wanted us to fulfil the promise that had been made that we would leave the European Union by the 29th of March. However, my concerns about... yes, I'll quickly give way to my...
I've just wondered if my right honourable friend was aware that the provisions relating to parliamentary sovereignty and also would deal with protection of vital national interests, both of which are included in this bill, would not have appeared in the previous bill.
Well, I'm grateful for my right friend, because I was just about to say why I regarded this bill as being considerably an improvement upon the previous agreement, and he's right to point that out. But it did, the agreement we are considering this afternoon does address the principal concerns that a number of us had, particularly the so-called backstop and the risk that this country could be locked indefinitely into membership of the customs union, which would prevent us from achieving one of the great prizes offered by Brexit, that of being able to negotiate our own trading agreements.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am enormously grateful to the right honourable gentleman for allowing me to intervene upon him. He will, and he has actually alluded to the fact that the new deal brought forward by the Prime Minister contains very different provisions for Northern Ireland. They are particularly different and very complex in terms of the new consent arrangements. That being the case, why on earth does the bill that we are being asked to get a second reading to today not contain a single sentence explaining those very complex consent mechanisms?
Well, I heard the Honourable Lady express those concerns, and indeed our friends from the Democratic Unionist Party and I take them seriously. The Prime Minister gave an assurance that these measures were transitory, that they were sort of self-dissolving after a certain period, and I hope that he will continue to talk to her and to the colleagues in the Democratic Unionist Party to assure them that that is the case. But obviously I hear what she says about the bill, and I hope that she can receive assurance on that point. If my right friend will forgive me, I feel I must press on. As I say, I do believe that this is an improvement on what we were offered before. There are still elements that I do not like. I am not happy with the idea that for 15 months we will be, in the words of my right friend, the Leader of the House, essentially a vassal state, taking orders from the European Union without being able to vote on them and continuing to pay in. I am willing to pay that price as long as there is a clearly defined end point, after which we will be free to set our own rules, to reach the trading agreements that I want to see, and no longer subject to the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. If the right honourable lady will forgive me, I think I must press on. I congratulate my right friend, the Prime Minister, for having defied all the sceptics. My right friend, the member for Penrith and Border sitting next to me, at least has had the grace to say that he was wrong when he said that the Prime Minister could never reach a new deal with the European Union. There are others in the chamber who said it repeatedly, who have been less honest in now accepting that. I think I must press on if my honourable friend will forgive me. I do believe, however, that, as my right friend, the member for Aylesbury, said, that the European Union have reopened this deal once. They are not going to do so again. When I and my colleagues and the chairman of the Select Committee sitting opposite me, when we have been to see Mr Barnier, when we have been to see Mr Selmayr, when we have been to see Mr Verhofstadt, they have all asked us, what is it that will get a majority in the House of Commons? That is what they have wanted to know. That is what I hope we will be able to show them tonight, because there is no question, my old friend is right, the European Union are as fed up with this dragging on as I think the entire of the United Kingdom is. They want to get this matter settled. To be honest, those who vote against tonight, I suspect, will find fault in whatever deal is put forward. Actually, their agenda is stopping Brexit. This does represent an opportunity, finally, to settle this matter, to deliver what the people voted for now coming on 3.5 years ago. And I hope that, therefore, the House will, at last, vote in favour of this deal that is now before us, and also in favour of the programme motion, in order that we can get it delivered and fulfil the promise by the 31st of October.